What is up, my chicken nuggets, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Eli, and today we're doing a Q&A video. I asked a couple of you guys to send me some questions regarding my transition, me being transgender, and all of that mumbo jumbo. If you guys are anything like me, when I first heard that word, I was like, yeah, cool. What the heck does that even mean? So let's get started with the questions that you guys asked me, because you asked me a lot of questions and I want to answer all of them. So let's go! So I'm gonna try to bunch up a few of the questions because they go hand in hand, and so that this video isn't like 5,000 years long. Alright? Alright. At what age did you find out you were transgender, and how did you find out? I want to say that I finally came out to terms with me being transgender when I was around, I don't know, 20, 19, 21. I'm not exactly 100% sure. See, the reason why is that when I was little, I knew there was something different about me, but I didn't know that being transgender or changing your gender or, being born in the wrong gender was a thing. I assumed that, if you were born a girl, you were born a girl. If you were born a boy, you were born a boy. That whole gay community, that lesbian community, all of that stuff wasn't in my family or anywhere in my surrounding life. So I didn't think it was right. I didn't think it was a real thing, or that it wasn't me. So moving on, a few years later, I found out about the whole transgender thing thanks to YouTube. YouTube has become my best friend when it comes to this stuff. One day I randomly, searched for girls dressing up as guys. I don't know why. I have no idea what the heck I was doing, but I searched for that. And you know how YouTube works, where you just go on and on and on, random video, next video, random. Well, I stumbled upon someone who was doing their comparison video, where they were showing how they looked before to now. And I was like, wait, what the heck? Why are they comparing themselves to their sister? So I just kept watching, and then they started talking about their transition, and I was like, huh? And then I just kept watching other videos, and then they were like, oh, this is my 7-month on hormones, and this is the changes, and I was like, what? So then I stumbled upon one video where someone introduced themselves as transgender and how they changed their gender and this and that, and I was like, whoa, that made sense. It was like a puzzle piece that I was missing, that I was like, this is it. This is what I am. This totally makes sense, because I kind of do find girls attractive, but I'm not into them like as a girl. Deep down, it makes sense that I'm a boy. So then, I celebrated and I was like, cool, I'm transgender. What was the hardest part for you? So the hardest part for me comes in two parts. The first part was accepting myself as transgender. Being transgender is a whole different thing compared to, coming out as gay or lesbian or bisexual or even straight. You don't see transgender people as often as you do with gay, lesbian, bisexual, straight people. And so when I first discovered it and I was like, okay, yeah, this is me, cool, woohoo! Wait, no, I don't know. Am I? It just hit me like a brick, like, holy cow, this is different. This is not your normal, hey, look, I'm gay, I like girls. It's a whole different thing where I'm deciding to change my body, change my gender, change my names. It's a hard thing. And it was hard for me to actually accept it and be like, yeah, okay, well, this is who you are, think about your past, everything that you've done. It makes sense the way that you acted back then and how you are transgender. Does that make sense? I think it makes sense. I got to a very dark place in my life because I wanted to accept it, but I was in denial because I felt alone. I wanted someone to speak to about it, but I didn't know anyone who was transgender. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know anything about that stuff. So when I finally came out to certain people in my life, like in the early stages, it went downhill. They were very negative. They were like, no, how can you be transgender? That's not a thing. Why can't you just be gay? Why can't you just like girls? Or, you know what? Why can't you just like boys? Why do you have to be this way? I'm not going to really accept it like that. It put me in a darker place because I was confused. I was still questioning if I was transgender or not. I was trying to accept it, and then the people around me were not accepting it either. So I just felt like I was sitting in a corner in a dark room and depressed, pretty much. I was just depressed. And, I got to a point where I would just cry myself to sleep every night. I finally went to a therapist. The therapist helped me in a way, and they were like, if you want to live your life being miserable, then do it. Just be miserable. Question it all the time. But if you want to be happy and you know that this is in your mind all the time, then it has to be true. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. This is who I am. I have to accept it. I don't want to die a girl. I don't want to date girls and look like a girl because that's not who I am. So I accepted it. And then the second part that was the hardest came. I'm guessing you could tell what it is. Coming out to everyone else. When I finally came to the terms of me being transgender, let me just tell you, it was hard as hell trying to figure out how to tell everyone. Because this, like I said, this isn't just us coming out as gay or bisexual or lesbian or straight. Now I'm coming out and telling everyone, well, I'm changing the way that I look, I'm changing my pronouns, I'm changing my name, and I like girls. It was hard for me to come out to myself. I couldn't even picture how I was gonna come out to everyone else. I think that was the hardest part because being transgender, you know, people disown you, they don't like you sometimes, and you know, you could get fired for being different. You could get disowned by your friends, by your family, get beat up or whatever the heck. It's hard. As much as I don't really care about what people think about me, this is a whole different level of what people think about me because this is actually my life and how it's affecting everyone around me too. So it was hard. It was hard coming out and it was hard accepting it for myself. But now I'm in good terms. I'm in a good space. I'm cold. My knee hurts. My life hurts. But I'm good now. Next question. Do you think you have changed since you've come out? And do you think your relationship with your friends and family has changed? I do think that I have changed. There's this theory that when people come out in the LGBTQ whatever community, that people suddenly change, that they act completely different. And I did get that when I first came out. I first came out as gay and people were like, well, certain people, they were like, oh no, you're different, you don't act the same anymore, you're totally this way now, and you aren't the way you were before, and all of that mumbo jumbo. And I was like, in denial, I was like, no, that's not true, I'm still the same me. Years later, I'm like, you know what, yeah, I have changed. I feel that I'm still the same person, it's just that I'm more open and more of myself. The people that, you know, said that I've changed and stuff, are people that are scared of my change and me forgetting them. I mean, it happens. Whether you're transitioning or not, people change, you know, new experiences happen in their life, new interests appear, new hobbies. Long story short, I have changed, I think for the better, because I'm more of myself. Back then, I was very depressed. I was super quiet, super shy. I didn't want to share any of my stories. I didn't want to talk to no one. I didn't hang out with friends because I felt like I couldn't be myself. I couldn't talk about my experiences or anything like that. Now, do I think my relationship has changed with my friends and family ever since I came out to them as transgender? Absolutely. My family, I was super reserved. I wouldn't tell them anything. I would hate hanging out with them because I was out to my friends already and I was living this whole different life, but then I would go to them and I was like closing myself again. I had to hear the terms her and she and these woman terms that I was like hating. Now that I'm out to them, I feel that it's gotten better. I'm not super open with them, but you know, I'm a little more comfortable around them and stuff. So I think that I have changed with everyone, but for the better, not for the worst. I hope. Is there anything we can do to make it easier for you? And how can I be an ally? This question is a little hard to answer because each situation is different with everyone. The way that you could be an ally and supportive to anyone who's in the LGBTQ community is to just be nice to them. You know, if they want to be called a different name, use that name. If they want to go by male pronouns, use male pronouns. If they want female pronouns, then do female pronouns. If they want gender neutral pronouns, then use gender neutral pronouns. That was a mouthful. Whoa. Just be nice, be considerate, support them, don't be rude. If they tell you, don't go around telling other people, hey look, this is Eli and he's transgender. Don't do that. Just, you know, if I want to come out, then I come out. If not, just say, this is Eli and he's here. If I'm being goofy about the whole transgender thing, then you can be goofy too. But, you know, be considerate and stuff. That's with anyone. Not even, you know, anyone in the LGBTQ community. Just be nice. And that's how you're a good friend. by being nice and listening. Ding. Do you ever feel unsafe being transgender? Well, let me just tell you, I've been very, 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 very lucky and fortunate. Knock on wood. Wood. Whatever else is wood here. You too, knock on wood. I've been very fortunate and lucky to feel somewhat safe. I have not been discriminated that I'm aware of. Like I said, I really don't care if people are offended by me or what they think about me. Point is, I've never been personally offended, abused, beaten up, discriminated against. I've been very fortunate with that stuff. Of course, just because I say that doesn't mean that I feel extremely safe and confident and stuff. It's scary going into the male's washroom when you look like a 12-year-old little boy. I still feel unsafe in certain situations because I do look like a 12-year-old little man. But if I show that I'm uncomfortable, then it draws attention to me. I've learned that the hard way. If I'm confident, if I'm standing freaking tall and I'm being strong and, not caring what anyone else says, you put this shell in front of you, or the shield, not a shell. You put a shield up and, whatever people think and say, then it's like, whatever. Say whatever you want. I'm never gonna see you in my life ever again. Okay, peace, bye. But do I feel unsafe? No, because I've been looking very masculine for a very long time, that I'm kind of used to it. But should I feel extremely safe and comfortable? No. No one else should either, because no one's safe in this world. Have you seen the news? How do you pronounce your name? My name is Eli, as I say it in every video. My name is Eli, like the book of Eli, and it's E-L-I, Eli. Some people still call me Eli, and that's kind of my fault because I didn't really change my name. I just kind of like how it sounds in English more than in Spanish. I feel like it sounds tougher. But people still call me Eli because I'm Mexican, and in Spanish, Eli is Eli. I still cringe about it. Don't really enjoy it, but it's my fault for not really changing my name. I couldn't think of another name. Maybe I'll change it later on. Who knows? But for now, it's Eli, and the only way you could call me Eli is if you're talking to me in Spanish. So stop calling me that. I don't like it. Do you have to change your statuses to male legally? Not really. There's certain people, who are transgender and they don't change anything. They don't go on hormones. They don't change their statuses to male or female. They just live their life. I personally am planning on changing all my identifications to male. Reason why? Because I have lived enough through female identifications and it's very awkward. Ever since I cut my hair, I looked very androgynous? Is that the word? Is that how you say it? I don't know. I looked very boyish, very masculine. So when I would, still use the female washroom, people would just stare at me and be like, huh? When I showed my ID, it says female, and they're like, huh? This is not you. I had so many times when people would say, are you sure this is you? This is not your ID. It says female. Do you want to pull down my pants? What do you want? So I've gone through that too many times, especially now that my voice is definitely different and, I'm starting to get facial hair and I'm looking nothing like my ID or my passport or anything. I think it's time for me to change it to male. But it's expensive. It's very expensive and I need the monies. So if you want to donate to me, I will gladly take $1. Okay. Next question that kind of relates to that. Are you planning on having surgeries in some sort of way? There's a lot of surgeries that you could do. My face is pretty ugly. I could do a surgery for that. I could, get some liposuction. That's a surgery, right? Right. There's so many surgeries, but I don't know if I'm going to get any unless I need them. The one that I do know that I will eventually need is a hysterectomy, which is to remove my ovaries because I don't need them. I'm not going to be reproducing, and my eggs are just cramming in there, and that's dangerous and bad for you. So, at one point, I'm going to have to remove them. When? I don't know. Whenever my body decides to. Other surgeries like chest surgeries, bottom surgeries, ugly surgeries, I don't know. We'll see what the future says. I know bottom surgeries, they're still not 100% perfect, so I don't want that. I know how they work. I've looked into it. They're scary. Chest surgeries, sometimes they still don't look good. And they're hella expensive. And some places you do need surgeries like that to change your identifications to male, which sucks and it's horrible, but it's expensive. Just like changing your name, just like changing your gender. It's hella expensive, especially for surgeries. So, I need money. So, if I don't need it, I won't get it. Not anytime soon. Let me win the lottery. Alright. Next question. What are the most hurtful questions to ask you? I don't know what you mean by this, honestly. I would say, don't ask the questions that you wouldn't ask your straight friend. Simple as that. Don't be stupid and ask like stupid ass questions. Kind of like, so how do you have sex? I ain't gonna answer that. That's rude. Unless, you ask that to everyone, which is still rude. But, don't ask stupid questions like that. If you're curious about me being transgender, ask kindly. Ask considerately. Think about your question first. Don't just ask, like, hey, how do you do this? Or, what about this? Think about your question first. Would you ask that question to your straight friend? If you answer yes, then you got weird friends. If you answer, no, I wouldn't, that's kind of uncomfortable, then don't ask it. If you wouldn't answer that question for yourself, then maybe you shouldn't ask me. Do you wish you had done this sooner? I'm guessing come out as transgender or my transition. I don't know which one you mean, but we'll answer it in both ways. Do I wish I knew I was transgender earlier? Yes. Do I wish I had started my transition earlier? Absolutely freaking yes. I've been putting off me doing my hormone treatment shots. If you guys knew, you'd smack the heck out of me. For almost like 5-6 years. I've been putting it off because I was so scared. Oh man, I would have been like 6 years into my hormones right now. But no, I'm 6 months because I'm a chicken. Why did you skip a video? Alright, so if you keep track of my videos, I didn't upload a 6-month on hormone video, which is a very important video because 6 months, half a year. Where did it go? It's in my computer, somewhere in there, just hiding because it was holidays and because there's an airplane passing and now we gotta wait. Holidays happened, I was busy, and by the time I started editing it and I was gonna finalize it, I was like, it's almost my 7 months. What's the point of uploading this now? Let's just make a whole nice cool video for the 7 months and call it a dinky day. Yes. There's actually one more. Will you try and become an advocate? When I read this question, I thought it said, would you try to be an avocado? I was hungry. No, but yes. In reality, I'm a very shy and quiet person. So for me to actually jump out there and be like, okay, I'm gonna be an advocate. No, I don't think so. But if the opportunity comes where someone's like, hey, can you speak to this community, or can you speak to these people and educate them, or can you do this or can you do that, then okay, sure, why not? I'll put on my big boy cojones and toughen up. But for me to actually go out there myself and say, hey, here I am, what do you want me to do? No, I'm good. And there you have it. That's my Q&A. I know it's a little bit on the longer side, but it's a little hard when you guys actually sent deep questions. I could have answered yes or no. I feel that these were more of explanation kind of questions. But thank you for your questions. Keep asking me stuff. I'll gladly answer them in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. I want to see that sub count go up. Because, it's fun and it makes me know that you guys appreciate these videos like I do. Yeah, what else? Subscribe, like, comment, speak to me. And I will see you guys very shortly with my 7 months update. Alright, peace out. Love y'all. My knee hurts.